got one viewer. So we're trying out our new broadcasting software today, sort of. Just a different platform.
Yeah.
We're all pumped up about that.
New equipment, different platform.
New equipment, different platform. No, same equipment, right? Yeah, same equipment.
Yeah, I said that backwards. Same equipment, new platform.
So it's going to take us a little while to get used to it. So if you see something that is wrong, if the audio is wrong or the video is all messed up, please let us know. But today's 19th January 2017. Call in is 859-355-9002. Give us a call if you've got a question about our truck. We'll open up the phone line here in just a few minutes as soon as we know if we have good sound or not.
It was good until you were hitting the desk, and then it was blowing my ear up.
Okay.
What y'all talk about meetings today?
What did we talk about in meeting today? Today in meetings we were talking about the difference in injector sizing, how Huey sizing relates to everything else. You know, a lot of people don't understand that, you know, in Huey injector sizing, so 6.0 and 7.3 stuff, there's a modification that's done to the body. So the first number in the sizing, your first number is your body flow, and then your second number is the percentage over that your nozzle is honed out to. So we were talking about that, and then how it relates to common rail injectors and just Dodge and Chevrolet injectors, and whether what is 30% over, what is 100% over. How does that tie back into horsepower, 100 horsepower injectors, and so on and so forth?
Got our first question, and it's a really vague one, but I kind of like this question too because it gives you something to talk about for a little bit. Tuners, are they good for a truck or not?
By good for the truck it's good for your wallet, because you're going to get, in certain instances, you're going to get better fuel economy. The truck's going to run more efficiently. You know, if it's abused, no, it's not good for your truck. But any kind of abuse to the truck is not good for it. So, a tuner, is it going to benefit you? Yes, it's definitely going to benefit you for sure. Especially a guy going from a bone stock vehicle to a vehicle with a programmer on it, or some sort of performance modification, such as a tuner or an air intake or an exhaust.
One of our employees wants to know how it is to be HR for this week.
I'm HR this week, and it's been great. They said that technically HR was Morgan, who is our operations manager, but I think they misspelled Wade, so I've been calling myself HR this week. It's been great. It's really been great. I think I'm going to have to maybe sabotage a situation to get an actual HR situation going on, but we'll just have to see what tomorrow brings. Tomorrow's Friday. So, yeah.
Is your phone on?
It will be. Are we ready to take a call?
Yeah, we're totally ready to take calls. We'll knock one out early. Viewers are a little lower today for some reason.
30 people are watching the show today. Right. Thank you, everybody.
I'm only showing 8 on mine. Are you showing 30?
Says peak live viewers.
That's peak.
Oh, peak. Okay.
So, Derek wants to know how excited you are for the new president.
I'm pretty pumped. I honestly hope that tomorrow goes off without a hitch. I hope there's no problems tomorrow. I'm sure that's what everybody's hoping for. I hope for no trouble, and get him in here and let's get started and see what he can do.
Yeah, at a certain point, you just gotta, whether you're for him or against him, you're just ready for it to happen.
You can make all the jokes that you want to, and you can look at all the memes that you want to and crap, but you've really got to, at the end of the day, you've got to hope and pray that the man makes it to the office without a damn hitch. It's a cluster, man. It really is. It's a cluster. Everything on the news. There's nothing that Trump could do, irregardless of who it is. There's nothing that Trump can do that they're not going to spin it in a negative light. I mean, he's got no.
I would agree with that.
He's got a hard road to hoe for sure. Yeah. The definition.
Christopher, yes, we do deal with GM. If you got a question about a GM truck, just let us know. We'll be happy to answer it. O2 Cummins, what's your opinion on putting cheap trans fluid in the diesel as a cleaner or an additive?
We talk about this quite a bit. We don't suggest that you use anything as a fuel additive other than a fuel additive itself. The old adage the old school thought that you could put two-stroke oil in it your used oil, put it back in there, so on and so forth. We don't recommend any of that because that's fuel contamination. Some oils have more detergents than other oils do, especially. So that's why you want to use a fuel additive. You want to use a fuel additive because you're getting a cetane boost, you're getting an increased lubricity, you're getting anti-gelling properties, so on and so forth. So use a fuel conditioner. Don't cheap out, or use a fuel additive. Don't cheap out by trying to use your used engine oil or anything of that nature. We have our new fuel additive that's coming out, Thoroughbred Diesel Power Shot. I wish I had a bottle of it now.
One of our employees that's watching, because half of our office watches this Q&A. That's half of our 30 viewers. Might be all of them. I don't know.
Hey.
If one of you would walk one of those bottles down here to us so we can show that to everybody, we'd appreciate that, please. We're kind of out of questions right now. You got anything else you want to talk about?
No. Shoot, man. We'll talk about anything. I dropped my camper off. I dropped my camper off because I got a leak in my roof, man, and I haven't heard anything back from my camper. And the guy was like, "Man, we'll probably have it done about the 1st of March, but I really want to be that guy and pick up the phone and just call him and say, hey, man, I just want to check in with you." But that's the kind of struggles like I have in my mind on stuff like that. I'm just like, guy told me it wouldn't be done until the 1st week of March. Why the hell am I going to call and aggravate?
Which means they're probably not going to start on it until
February.
Yeah, February.
Yeah.
I mean, they told you up front. So.
Yeah.
Put a tuner and a DPF delete on an '08 Ford 6.4. Now it idles at 900. What can I do?
Well, I'd like to know what tuner that you use. I'm assuming probably Spartan. You would have to go back through all the settings that you have there and see if there's something that is causing that. If one of your sensors is reporting incorrect intake air temperature, specifically, if you were getting a false report on one of your sensors, that could add to the high idle. I don't know, man. You want to go back through the tuning as best you can. I would uninstall the tuner first off and reinstall and see if that gets it fixed. It's definitely a tuning thing.
We'll go back to another political question because I kind of like this one.
All right.
Are we expecting any optimistic changes about the EPA?
So, man, that's such a catch-22 question.
I have actually been looking. I haven't seen anything yet that makes me think that they're going to change anything immediately.
Yeah.
Might it happen? Yeah. Would it even be in his first 4 years? I don't even know. It may not be until he ran for a second term that he would try to do something. I'm sure there'll be some minor changes, but I think it'll be more towards the energy side of it, not vehicle related.
I don't know why I can't remember the guy's name, but I've heard it a bazillion times, and I've probably said it a million too, and just in talking to myself specifically. But I heard a good line today that he said, and I want to make sure that I said this right. He said the job of the EPA is not to be as much a legislative branch as it is an administrative branch. So maybe that there is going to be less. Maybe there will be less meddling, for lack of a better word, at this point.
That's what I think. I think you'll get less issues out of it.
Yeah, on such a smaller scale. Mm-hmm. When government agencies are going after distributors or manufacturers of products, so on and so forth. That's it's a very sticky road. It's the EPA is definitely a needed thing. You can't just have martial law and over the environment. You know what I mean? The things that we have going on with the trucks right now, specifically diesel trucks, efficiency is coming, and it's a good thing. And people need to embrace it a little bit more than they already are. The new trucks have a very efficient, or are getting more efficient regeneration systems and diesel particulate filters, and DPFs may not even be the answer. Catalytic conversion may not be the answer. Tomorrow we may wake up and there may be another widget that's going to clean up the exhaust fumes. We don't know that. But for now, the trucks are getting better and they're getting more efficient, and they're coming out with crazy horsepower right out of the factory. So it's something that we all need to look at and kind of embrace that change going forward.
Easy link for Cummins. Coming soon?
Coming soon.
Do we have any?
No, I don't know what.
Not even whispering.
Not even a whispering of it. I honestly don't know. I hate to even speculate on it. You know, EFI Live is probably the answer there. Any of the tuners that you choose is probably going to be a good thing. I think EFI Live is a platform to go in now if you're looking at the abilities of the Easy Link. Go ahead and slide into EFI Live.
08 GMC, DPF delete, EGR delete, EFI Live, 160 horse DSP5 switch, I guess is the tuning.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, straight piped, fast 165, torque converter, triple lock PPE. What do you think? Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, what you think I can run top tune without messing up my truck or trans? I tow a lot and occasionally hot rod around. I just don't want to dump thousands into a transmission. He also has a follow-up down here.
Man, I'm not laughing at you.
I plan on putting a 10 mil CP3 pump, 60% injectors, and a 64 millimeter turbo. I'm going to ask the question,
listen,
do you have trans tuning with that as well?
No. So you've already got a converter done. You already have a converter done. There's no sense in dancing around it and not going ahead and doing everything inside the transmission that you need. Upgrades, a band upgrade, clutches upgrade, all your valve body upgrades that you need to do for the transmission to be there and be happy, and for you not to have a problem. Just doing a torque converter is really not going to save you from anything other than you're going to have the efficiency of a better coupling torque converter.
Trans tune is there, right?
Trans tune is there. The efficiency of a better coupling torque converter, you're still going to have the problem that you could have flare shift inside the transmission. So you have flare shift that's going to glaze a clutch pack in it, so on and so forth. I'm not even going to tell you, because your truck's already pretty hot now, and everything that you're going to do is going to make it hotter. Before you spend all the money to do the upgrade, you're probably not going to want to hear this. Go and pull the trans down, man. Put a rebuild kit in it, put it back together, and enjoy the rest of it. Then we can talk about, instead of how far can I go on my stock transmission, we can talk about what's the next injector to put in your truck to get you to 1,000 horsepower.
Wanting a 4 or 5 inch turbo back exhaust with a muffler for my 2014 Duramax. I've always had MVRP on my past vehicles. I would like to get one for my 14. My problem is I cannot find a full turbo back kit anywhere for my truck. Do you offer one?
At this time, MVRP is not making a full 4 or 5 inch turbo back kit for your vehicle. You will have to look at either Diamond Eye or Flow Pro for those options. We have both of them on the website, but at this time there is nothing offered from MVRP.
Nathan, if you want some more help, bud, you can give us a call at the regular shop number, and one of the guys will be happy to help you pick out an exhaust system for your truck.
Absolutely.
866-737-4966.
Yep. This line that is on our that's on the Q&A here, the 355-9002, that line is turned off once the show is over. So if you have a question and you miss getting in on Q&A, just call us at the shop, 866-737-4966.
I'm pretty sure that line rolls into Q. Yours does.
It goes right to voicemail.
Does it?
Yeah.
Have you gotten some?
First off, oh yeah. Yeah, there's usually about 5 or 10 every day once we shut down. So I just want to make sure that you guys are getting taken care of and that you're not getting mixed in with all the rest of my emails or voicemails.
Do you recommend lowering the pop pressure on injectors on P-Pump? Truck runs fine now, just didn't know if it would help or change the way it runs.
Yes, it's going to change the way it runs. It's going to be just a little bit crisper. I can't remember off the top of my head what the pop pressure is. The pressure difference between injector set up for VP style versus P7100 style, I think it's like 20 bar or something like that. It's not much, but you're just going to have that much more efficiency. So yes, definitely get your injector set up for 7100 frame injection pumps. I didn't get a notification that we were live.
Yeah, I didn't either. I wonder if that's not why it we didn't have as many viewers immediately. We'll probably have to look into that. That's probably what hurt us a little bit there, but it happens. Let me get back to that. I had a technical error on my side. Is Anthony calling today? Do you want to text him?
No, he said he was going to call, but I ain't going to text him
You
and
don't
poke
want
the
to
bear.
poke the bear?
If he's coming, he's coming.
I got you. So Wade and I were talking today. We're thinking about possibly like once a month taking this and scheduling maybe someone to call in, and maybe you all can ask not only Wade a question or two, but somebody else. I don't know which vendor or representative, but if you have suggestions for that, tell us in the comments. We'll take a look at them, kind of write them down, and take that into consideration. All right, next question. You ready for it?
I'm ready.
G56 leaking between trans and motor, not coming from up top. Is it the front seal?
The rear main. You really don't know anything. On all the transmissions, the problem that you're going to have is you're going to have a collection of dirt right there at that little window. You're going to have a collection of dirt there at that little bit of window. You have any kind of condensation on the back cover, so on and so forth. It's all going to leak out there. You just don't see many rear mains on Cummins motors, especially. If you've got one, hey, you got one. But you can take care of it as it comes along there. The only way to know is pull it down. If you're not using any oil, I wouldn't worry about pulling it down. If your oil level staying the same between your changes, you're in good shape. Don't worry about it. Thoroughbred, this is Wade. Can I help you?
Wade, this is your favorite buddy, Bubba, out of Florida.
Hey, what's going on, Bubba? How are you, sir?
Same old, same old.
Yes.
Hey, I got a question I got for you.
Uh-huh.
I run a little small shop down here in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And what happens is I got a customer, he's had his truck worked on about 2 or 3 places, and apparently they did a motor swap in it.
Right.
And I know you're the man on the Cummins side of things. What it is, the truck is a 2001 Dodge Cummins.
Yeah.
And apparently they did a motor swap in it and put a 99 Cummins motor in it.
Okay.
So I've read a bunch of stuff on the internet about switching some wires around on the ECM to make, where one don't have a cam sensor in it, the other one does.
Yeah, that's right.
Vice versa. Have you run any of that wiring stuff?
It seems like more often, Bubba, it goes from the 98, 99 guys that get the 2000 to 2002 motors. And that's usually not as bad. But the cam position sensor is the same part number between the two. So the rationality on the tone ring we know is going to be the same. But you've got to make sure that you get the ECM. If you've got to make sure that you've got the correct ECM for what you're trying to accomplish. If it's an 01 ECM that you're going to run it from, I'm pretty sure that you can run with the same rationality of just a cam sensor off of the 99 motor. I think it's going to be a drop-in. It shouldn't be a problem.
What it is, it keeps throwing like can codes. I mean, the truck, cranks up, idles, fine, everything's running fine. And, they got into this thing about, probably about 3 or 4 hours into it. And then, we realized, okay, I pulled the, Cummins numbers off of it, run the Cummins numbers through, Cummins, and it come up to be this motor's a 99. And then, we pulled up the wiring harness on it. And if you start looking at like cam pins into the ECM, camshaft would be like pin 9. And then if you go back to like the 01, pin 9 was blank on the 2001.
Right.
So, I've read some where they were taking the wires and, replacing, take the pin 9 and put it in, the blank pin 9 on the 01. And
yeah.
I was just seeing if you run across something, on that.
Everything that I've run has been the other way, Bubba. It's been 99 guys putting 2000 motors in it. But that's exactly right. You're 100% on that pin out. If you move it, because the cam it's not a 5-volt reference. It's a 2-wire reference, isn't it? No, it's a 5-volt reference. It's a 3-wire.
But I think if I read it correctly, pin number on the 99, pin number 17 be crankshaft position sensor signal, and then pin 9 would be camshaft position sensor also. But on the 2001, 9 would be blank, and then 17 would be camshaft position sensor.
And you do still have the 01 ECM, right?
Yes, sir. It's going to be the 01 ECM because that's where we thought we were having issues, was coming out of the ECM because we were testing voltage coming out of the ECM. Going into the ECM, it was at, 14 volts. Coming out, we were losing voltage, and that's one of the first things we did is, everywhere, and then the truck runs perfect. But as it starts, idling up 1,600 RPM, starts like it's, missing its cam signal somewhere.
Yeah, I've got the harness. Sorry, man, I had to stand up here because I've got the actual harness pin out up here on my board somewhere. Let me look at it real quick because I can't remember. You know what, Bubba, I'm gonna get you a pin out on it because I don't know where the hell that is. I've got it. I had it on my daggone board here because I've got a BP44 pin out, but I can get it and I can let you know where it needs to be because I need to figure out whether that, I can't remember whether that cam position sensor, I'm pretty sure it's 5-volt reference, it's 3-wire sensor. Bubba, hold on just a second, let me mute this mic. All right, let me see if I can find that pin out, and I'll give you a call back just as soon as we get done with this show, man.
All right, I appreciate it.
All right, thanks, sir. See you, bud. It always goes the other way. If you're doing, we always have that problem with, again, 99 guys that go into the 2000 motors, and then you've got a cam crank reference that you don't need a cam crank reference. You only need a cam reference, so it's usually going the other way, not backwards, but I can help him get that pin out, but he's right. If you have, and most importantly, if you've got a 98, 99 truck and you buy a 2000 motor, you have got to get the 2000 ECM in there, so you've only got the cam rationality for everything. That will be obviously how the truck runs, and you're going to have the rationality going to the RPM gauge inside of the truck, and so on and so forth. The other way, I think it's just a pin out, but I'll call Bubba back and let him know when I get off the phone.
2011 6.7. Instead of buying the whole injector, I want to do just nozzles. Would the bodies be okay?
It depends on how many miles are on them. I mean, it really does. Anytime in common rail, it does. It always depends on how many miles are on them, what problems you've had. Even a low mileage body, even a 2011 truck, if it's only got 50,000 miles on it, if it's had 50,000 hard miles and you've gotten a couple of loads of fuel where you're pretty sure you got some water in it, you're probably going to have trashed bodies. Probably going to be just better off to go ahead and put a full-on injector in it and just do it instead of just doing nozzles.
Connor Bowden, I don't know if you're still watching or not, but we don't try to skip comments or on purpose or anything. Facebook kind of controls what comments we see and what ones we don't. We try to get them as best we can. Just keep commenting, eventually we'll see it. I see this comment, so I'll give it a like, and maybe the next time you post one, we'll see it. 08 Ford 6.4 with idle problem. Has SCT live wire, straight pipe sensors are unhooked.
Idle problem?
Yeah.
As in it's idle. Again, if it's idling too high.
Has a live wires, 08 straight pipe with the sensors unhooked.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if he's got the DPF delete tune.
Yeah, that's the first thing that you want to make sure that you've got DPF delete tuning, because you're not just going to be able to put a normal SCT on there and get it. Yeah.
Well, Bruce, we'll wait for you to follow up. Let us know if you have delete tuning or not on there. Oh, 03, you're looking for that pin, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Been doing
Sorry,
this with too long.
yeah.
0360 bone stock, 200K on it, no tunes, oil cooler starting to leak, and wondering if the bulletproof EGR cooler or factory round cooler was better, or EGR delete option. And he said, nice beard there, sir.
Thank you. And I'm sorry that I keep playing with the damn thing, but it's new for me. I'm like, rah, 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 all the time. 03 truck.
0360.
It's going to depend on what you're going to want to do with the truck and where you are. If you're wanting to do an EGR delete, if you're in a place where you can do an EGR delete, you're not going to have to worry about it. My suggestion, go ahead and do an EGR delete. While you're there, change out your oil cooler as well. Quite a few things that you can do there in going forward into bulletproofing your truck and having something that you're not going to have to worry about. if you're going to continue to use the EGR cooler, I would definitely suggest going with an upgraded cooler. We offer Sinister's upgraded coolers. I have some Boztec coolers. I don't carry Bulletproof, but they have an excellent product. So if you're going to do an upgraded cooler, please make sure that you do one and it's marketed as, or you are assured that it is an upgraded cooler. EGR delete if you can, upgraded cooler if not. Your wife called.
Somebody called.
Huh.
In Boise, Idaho, one of those random numbers. VP44 Hot Rod. Take a guess on what the next question is going to be.
What size injectors am I running, or what should my lift pump pressure be? No.
What is the max horsepower I can get out of it?
So, again, with the Hot Rod VP44s, you're going to... The injector size that you have in your truck is going to tell what the capabilities of your hot rod pump is going to be. You can actually have too big of a daggone injector for a hot rod pump. If you have a stock turbo on the truck, you're only going to get so much horsepower out of it. It is a glass ceiling, so don't put a hot rod pump on your truck and 200 horsepower injectors. Leave the stock turbo on there and then call and be surprised that you're only at 480 horsepower or whatever you're at. Too many other variables, how much you can get out of it. It has the capacity. I can tell you this about a hot rod pump. If you're going to do a hot rod pump on your truck, you need to know going into it, and all the manufacturers of any of the upgraded VP44s will tell you that you need to make sure that you have no less than a 100, and let's just call it 100 horsepower, no less than 100 horsepower injector in the truck. An aggressive fueling box like a Quadzilla Adrenaline, the Edge Comp, Juice with Attitude, anything to open up that pump stretch to be able to get the pressure off of the VP44 and get it flowing.
Just picked up a 2012 Cummins. So far it's all stock. I purchased Banks intake, a pusher intake, a 5-inch exhaust. My question is, who do you recommend on EFI Live for these trucks?
Any of the tuners are going to be a good choice for you. There's only 4 or 5 guys out there right now that you're going to hear their names. Any of those guys will be an excellent choice for you. We carry Duramax tuner, Cummins tuner, Calibrated Power Solutions. We also carry GDP, which is excellent tuning as well. That's what I have. Love to have your business. I can get you in good tuning if you choose us. If you choose somebody else, you're going to probably get good tuning as well. There's names that you hear out there, the Corey Willises and the Ryan Millikins. That's all good stuff, man. So whatever you choose what you like and go with something reputable.
Follow up on the VP44 hot rod question. 6x12 industrial injection injector. It's only going to be a race truck.
Yeah. What is its capability horsepower wise? Still, it's the turbo tells the story. I would think that proper setup, you're going to get every bit of the 100 horsepower with 20% drivetrain reduction. So every bit of an 80 horsepower gain with the pump, 80, 70 horsepower, it just depends. I think that's easily obtainable with hot rod pump.
When will programmers update for the 2017 model Cummins?
There's a lot of them that are done right now. To be honest with you, I'm sitting here trying to think. I don't think that they're not that far behind.
Usually they're out in November?
Yeah, in the following model year, because we're in the model year now, obviously.
Yeah.
I think we're good to go on most all of the stock ones. Most all of your can tune.
2007-3 showed IDI code replaced, new batteries, not showing the code now, just code for exhaust brake and ICM, or is it LCM?
It's all right. What's the truck doing?
That's it.
Didn't tell what the truck's doing? He just told us that he replaced it.
Now just code for exhaust brake. So it's still showing a code for the exhaust brake and whatever that other thing is. IDM. There we go.
Okay.
That should make sense.
I'm sorry. If your truck's still coding for your IDM, then you would probably think no.
Let me reread that.
All right. Starting
2007-3 IDI IDM code. They replaced it.
Okay.
Put new batteries on it.
Yeah.
Now it is showing a code for the exhaust brake and the IDM again.
Okay. So you put an IDM on the truck and you still got an IDM code. All right. Well, let's talk about that first. If you still got an IDM code, then if you look at the trouble tree, we talk about this a lot. AllDataDIY.com, or you can use anybody that you want to. Auto Repair. I don't care. It will greatly benefit you to go to one of these websites, eautorepair.com, or I can't think of alldatadiy.com, and get yourself a manual on your truck. That's a full manual. You use the code, it's going to give you a trouble tree on how to figure out what you've got going on. Now, the reason why I say that is with IDMs, you are going to have to do some wiring testing to figure out whether if you've got a chafed wire or you've got a voltage drop somewhere, short to ground somewhere. A lot of pins in that, quite a bit that you're going to have to do. For now, what you can do, if you have a tuner if you have a scanner that's available that has the capability to do it, you want to do an injector buzz test. You're going to want to see what the solenoid condition is on your injectors. Go back through your IDM wiring. An EBP sensor on those trucks is very, very common. Pull your tube out, clean it, see if you're getting the voltage references that you're supposed to, and look at your exhaust back pressure numbers and make sure it's fluctuating. If it is, probably just need to clean your tube.
Zach, why don't you give us a call, bud, on the Hot Rod VP44? He's got some other questions, and let's get you one of our sales techs, and they can help you plan out kind of what you want to do there. That number is 866-7. Go ahead.
866-737-4966.
Give us a call. We'll get one of our guys to help you out with that. Let's do. What time is it?
It's 3:30.
Oh wow! I would have thought it was later than that. It feels later. Maybe it's because the last couple times we didn't start till like 3:30. So, replace tappet cover on a 2000 Cummins, and now it has a hard start in the mornings.
You have bumped a line or left something loose that is going to absolutely plague you until you get it fixed. You probably already know that. So the general area that you were at to get the tappet cover off the truck, you had to take all 6 injector lines off. You probably brought them off in 2 packs. The simplest thing to do right now is go through all your connectors at the VP44, make sure they are good and snug, and then check all 6 of the connectors at the head, go into the injectors and make sure they're all snug. If they are all snug, then you're going to want to go through the connectors on the fuel feed and the fuel return lines at the VP44, going back to the fuel canister, at the fuel T at the back of the motor. Check all of those. If all of that checks out good, the long return line is my first replacement. Leak downs drive you crazy on the VP44. The long return line going from the VP44 back to the junction or the T at the back of the motor, that the line from the back of the motor and then the line that goes to the tank that brings your return fuel, it joins in with that. That line is known to give problems. It usually will, the weld at the banjo, you'll get porosity there. You'll start to have a leak down at that position. That's usually what we find. My suggestion is you had the injector lines off of it. Check all your injector lines, both at the VP44 and at the head. Hopefully, and I'm praying for you, man, you find your problem, because I know that's aggravating as hell. I know that is absolutely aggravating.
2013 LML, what's the best tuner to run with emissions intact? You want to name a couple of good emissions compliant tuners that we offer?
All the tuners, all your can tuners, your edges and super chips and so on and so forth, they're all emissions compliant and have been testing as such. I know that Nick at Duramax Tuner has really done a ton of work in the emissions compliance vehicle. I'm going to give my nod to Nick on that because that's really what he's centering around, and he's doing a very, very good job with it and showing people that, hey, I can hook his truck to a sled, jerk the son of a bitch 300 feet down the track with the DPF on the truck and the EGR completely intact. my suggestion, Duramax tuner for sure.
98 and a half 24 valve drag comp.
We're getting a lot of BP questions today, and dude, we never get BP questions.
Which is odd on this.
Yeah, which is odd for us. Period.
Drag comp HX35 5-inch exhaust and intake. What is? Hang on, he just added something else to it. He does have a Raptor pump as well. What's a good size injector for him to go with?
Streetability, if you're going to leave the 35 in place, if you're going to leave your stock turbo on there, man, I wouldn't go with anything bigger than a 100 horsepower injector. And even a 100 horsepower injector is going to be a smoky pig.
He's got a hot rod pump.
Yeah, he's got a hot rod pump on it, too. A very smoky pig. Sorry. Let me let me rephrase that. If you're going to leave the stock turbo in, man, it's going to be smoky. I think you're going to get the most out of your setup. You don't need to go any bigger than a 100 horsepower injector, and probably that one's too big. You're probably going to get all you need out of a 75 or a 50 horsepower injector, honestly. But you can't do that because you got a hot rod pump on the truck. So my suggestion is 100 horsepower for everyday streetability, and you're going to leave the stock turbo on there.
Let's do one more. Let's call it a wrap for today. What do you think?
No reams today.
Yeah, I don't think he got scared.
He didn't get scared. He'll be here. I'm counting on you, man.
2005 Common Rail, 14 gears, NV 5600, 257K on it. Runs 2400 RPM at 7500. Does it hurt to run that hard on the interstate? Going on a few road trips this year, considering that it has 257,000 miles.
What? Tell me that again. Okay. It's not running it.
It's running at 2400 RPM,
yeah,
at 75 miles per hour.
75, and it's a 6-speed.
410 gears in an NV 5600.
6-speed.
So he's just wondering if the RPMs, or if that's too high to run a truck at on a long trip.
I'd like to have my calculator in front of me to figure out that that's right, because 410s, I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right. 071.71 final drive on a 6-speed, and then you take 410s in there. I don't think it speeds right.
You just made my head hurt.
I wish I had my final drive calculator, but 2400 just sounds blazing high, even with 410s. You know what? I'm gonna plug that into my calculator. I'm gonna have an answer for you next week. At 2400, I just want to make sure that is the right RPM range for you. I don't think that you think it's the right RPM range because you're asking the question. I'm sorry that I don't have that in front of me. I drive a 5-speed every day. The damn thing feels like the whole engine is gonna fly out of my truck at any time anyway. Let me get another answer on, or not. Let me get another answer. Let me plug that into the daggone ratio calculator and figure it out. I'll have an answer next week. 2400 just sounds high.
I've got a question here. Take your guess at what the next question is going to be.
Man, I don't know. I'm never good at this shit.
Yeah, no, you've got this.
I'm terrible. It's something about a turbo.
No, man, you're so far off. What is the best replacement lift pump for a stock 99 Cummins?
Anything? I'm sorry, man. I really am sorry, man. I'm not doing it.
It's not a Q&A until we get a faster air dog.
I said pecker last week too. It's whatever you choose. They both got a lifetime warranty. They are both easy to install. Good customer service from both companies. Very robust motors. You make the call.
Yeah, faster air dogs what we typically recommend.
Yeah.
We offer a few other ones, but those are what we usually recommend.
Yeah, and they're good if you're wanting to go with a, if you're wanting to go get away from your gear rotor motors. If you're wanting to go with a vane style pump, we offer a couple different offerings in that. But faster air dog are good. Fuel Lab's a great pump. BD makes a good little pump. PPE's pump's a pretty good little pump. So, hey, there you go.
All right, let's see if I missed anybody that was really important. Everybody's really important.
Everybody's really important, man. I wish I had that final drive number on that 6-speed. I got tripped up today. Kudos today to Bubba for tripping me up because I couldn't remember the pinout, and I also couldn't remember if a cam position sensor was a 5-volt reference servo, which was a dumbass thing on my part, dumb A thing on my part, because I should have known all cam position sensors are a 5-volt reference servo. That was stupid on my part, and that kind of crap just falls out of my head. Kudos to Bubba for tripping me up. I'm going to call you back once I know what that pinout is supposed to be. Kudos to the dude with the 6-speed 04 Dodge that wants to know if 2400 is the right RPM range for him running at 70 miles an hour.
We're going to have a fan in here next week. It's hot.
It is. It's hotter than hell in here.
All right. Tell them bye. You get to turn the video off this week.
Hey, I turned the video off today because Jason Burnett and I figured out how to do this in a different way. Kudos to Jason. Kudos to me. Heck with technology. Hope everything's all right at the inauguration tomorrow. Bye, Wade.